She had millions of followers, brand deals, and the body of a fitness influencer. To the outside world, Courtney Clenney, known online as Courtney Tailor, was living the dream. A luxury condo in Miami, an OnlyFans account that reportedly earned over $3 million, and an image carefully crafted to project control, confidence, and sex appeal. But on April 3rd, 2022, that image shattered. Courtney Clenney was on the phone, sobbing, hysterical, and saying she had just stabbed her boyfriend, 27-year-old Christian Obumseli.
One operator job to get us the address of your emergency.
No. You gotta die, I can't feel my arm. I can't feel my arm.
Ma'am.
So my boyfriend is dying of a stab.
Ma'am.
This is please God. It's bleeding from his shoulder.
Rescue, this is PD physician Juliet to call her. Ma'am, hold on one moment. Call her advisor that her boyfriend has a stab wound.
When police arrived minutes later, they found Christian bleeding heavily from a single stab wound to the chest. He died at the hospital.
We had to inform you that Christian did not make it. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could, and
Christian is dead.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What began as a domestic incident quickly escalated into one of the most high-profile murder cases in influencer history. Clenney claimed it was self-defense. She said Christian had attacked her and that she threw the knife from across the room.
Oh, I grabbed a knife and I said, don't come anywhere closer to me. I had absolutely no intention of using it. I'm on the phone with my mom and he's coming at me, and so I was just like, I was like, don't come any closer, coming at me. Yeah, it's really.
But the medical examiner's report told a different story. A deep, clean wound delivered with force and at close range, suggesting the knife hadn't been thrown at all. As the evidence mounted, so did the public scrutiny. This wasn't just a case about two people in a toxic relationship. It became a case about race, gender, violence, and the blurred line between victim and aggressor. In this documentary, we break down the full story.
In 2016, Courtney Clenney began calling herself a fitness model and posting to YouTube as Courtney Tailor. Taylor's her middle name.
A blonde, fitness-focused influencer with millions of followers across Instagram, TikTok, and OnlyFans. She called herself an entrepreneur, a model, and a badass Texas girl chasing her dreams.
After graduating in 2014, she packed up all of her bags and she's like, look, I'm so sick of being an extra. I want to be something, okay? She moves to LA. She's 18, moves to LA with not that much money. I mean, she's clearly chasing something at this point. She really wanted to be famous.
She became one of OnlyFans' top creators, reportedly earning more than $3 million from her content by the time she was 25. She flaunted the lifestyle: rooftop parties, designer bags, and a luxury apartment in one of Miami's most high-end buildings, One Paraíso. But behind the filters and follower counts, something darker was brewing. Friends and former collaborators described her as magnetic but volatile, someone who could be charming one moment and explosive the next. She had a history of emotional outbursts and had even referenced her own struggles with anger and past social posts. But those red flags were often brushed off, hidden behind the image she carefully maintained for her audience. In late 2021, she began dating Christian Obumseli, a 27-year-old tech entrepreneur from Texas who had recently moved to Miami. To the outside world, they look like a power couple, attractive, successful, and living in a beachfront condo. But people close to them say the relationship was chaotic from the start. They fought often, loudly. Neighbors reported hearing screaming matches through the walls. Security footage captured elevator altercations, with Courtney repeatedly hitting Christian while he stood with his arms at his sides.
There have been a lot of calls about Courtney and Christian's unit. It's a regular occurrence. Apparently, instead of making things better by moving to Miami, their relationship just went downhill.
There's at least 9 documented incidents by building security, multiple complaints of fights, noise, yelling, screaming. Police have been called multiple times.
Despite the warning signs, the two stayed together. And while her followers kept seeing curated images of brunches and bikinis, those inside their world saw something very different. a couple spiraling.
You're fired.
Fine.
Hopefully, shut up.
You will never see me again. You are the most
Good piece of shit.
ever met in my
Hopefully,
life.
you are. Then you
Courtney.
too. Get the out of here.
I think about by then, their relationship was in turmoil. They were fighting all the time. It was getting toxic.
Behind closed doors, friends say Courtney was controlling, obsessive, prone to jealous outbursts. In recovered text messages, she frequently accused Christian of cheating and manipulated him emotionally. In one message, she told him, "I hate you, you should die." In another, she admitted to throwing a glass at his head. Christian's family said he confided in them about the abuse, but insisted on staying in the relationship, hoping she would change. To outsiders, it didn't add up. Why would someone with Courtney's money, looks, and independence stay in a relationship that seemed so volatile? But according to those who knew her best, Courtney didn't see herself as abusive. She saw herself as in control. It all revolved around her. And Christian? He was no longer a partner. He was a pressure point, a target. Still, he stayed. In the months leading up to the stabbing, building staff reported multiple attempts to remove the couple from their lease due to noise complaints and reported disturbances. But nothing changed. Friends say the tension between them continued to build. One former friend described it as a ticking bomb. That bomb went off on April 3rd, 2022. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon in Miami, until it wasn't. At 4:57 p.m., a 911 call came in from the 22nd floor of One Paraíso. On the line was Courtney Clenney. She was frantic, screaming.
Where to go? What is the address of your emergency?
Hey, man, please. 3101.
I can't get my arm.
Ma'am.
My boyfriend is dying of a stab.
Ma'am, what is the address?
What's that? What's the address, baby? 3131 Northeast 7th Ave. Please, God, please. Come to my house.
What address on the district?
Baby, I'm so sorry, baby.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
I have dead body upstairs. We'll follow you. We'll follow you.
The building security got there before police did. It's evident that something major happened.
Come on.
They see that Christian is seriously injured. They can see him kind of slumped against a wall. Courtney is holding him.
Come here. Get up. What? You leave. You get up. Get up right now. You get up right now.
Why are you keeping him right? I just want to keep him
Get up
right.
right now.
Baby, wake up.
Shh, Courtney, listen to me. Get up. Get up. Come on. Get up.
Please, God. Please,
Listen. Get up. Get up right now. Drop it. I'll help him out. Get up.
Oh, no.
Get up.
There's a strong likelihood that she was the one that stabbed him because there's no one else inside of the room. So they detained her.
Just sit down, relax. Okay. They're gonna take care of him. Okay. Your dog is right here.
Rescue gets there.
Sit down. Give me some 4x4s.
They stabilized Christian as best as they could, get him on that stretcher.
He died soon after at Jackson Memorial Hospital. At first, Courtney claimed it was self-defense. She told police Christian had attacked her and that she threw a knife across the room to protect herself. But the medical examiner's report raised serious doubts. The knife wound was deep, piercing Christian's chest in a downward motion. Forensics showed the blade entered at close range, not from a distance. The thrown knife claim didn't match the injury. Police also found no defensive wounds on Courtney. She had a few scratches, but nothing consistent with a violent struggle. More questions surfaced when detectives reviewed the scene. There were signs of a struggle, yes, but not in the places her version of events suggested. Instead, the evidence pointed to a fight that escalated quickly, with Christian being stabbed during a confrontation, not an attack. Then there was the elevator footage, recorded just weeks earlier, which showed Courtney repeatedly hitting Christian. Prosecutors would later use it to suggest a pattern of abuse, not self-defense. And yet, despite all this, Courtney was not arrested that night. Miami police initially ruled the case a domestic disturbance. She was briefly detained and then taken for a mental health evaluation under Florida's Baker Act. She wasn't charged with anything. Not yet. In the days that followed, she checked into a rehab facility in Hawaii, citing PTSD, substance issues, and emotional trauma. But back in Miami, the investigation continued. And behind the scenes, prosecutors were building a case, one that included cell phone data, texts, audio recordings, and a timeline that didn't add up. The more they dug, the more it looked like Courtney's version of events wasn't just misleading, it was impossible.
Right after the death of her boyfriend, she moves to Austin, Texas to be with her family again. But from there, she was sent to a mental facility rehab in Hawaii. The rehab claims that it's a luxurious private 8-bed holistic addiction center. Courtney was said to have been diagnosed with severe alcohol use disorder and PTSD.
On August 10th, 2022, while still at the treatment center on the Big Island, Courtney was arrested. She was charged with second-degree murder with a deadly weapon. Courtney fought extradition. Her legal team claimed she posed no threat and that the stabbing had been in self-defense. They leaned heavily on her influencer status, arguing she was being targeted because of her fame. But prosecutors had built a much deeper case. Eventually, she was extradited to Miami and booked into jail, where she was denied bond. Prosecutors argued that she was a flight risk, that she had already left the state once, and that her extensive online income gave her the means to disappear. The judge agreed. The arrest turned Courtney from an online celebrity into a national headline. Suddenly, the woman once known for bikini photos and fitness tutorials was appearing on nightly news segments, framed in orange jumpsuits and courtroom sketches. Her mugshot went viral. So did the elevator footage. Public sentiment shifted fast. While Courtney had a vocal group of supporters online, many of whom believed her self-defense claim, the majority saw something else, a privileged influencer trying to avoid accountability.
We know good and well that that girl unalived that black boy, right? Now it's, it was self-defense?
She used her white tails to save herself from any consequences for literally murdering a black man in cold blood.
If the roles were reversed, his mugshot would be all over the nightly news.
There's absolutely no way on earth we can let her get away with this.
The optics were hard to ignore. A white woman, financially successful, claiming victimhood after stabbing her black boyfriend. The racial dynamic, the wealth, the influencer angle, it all collided into one explosive case that left the public deeply divided. And then came the audio.
He literally told me about it, and now he's like, yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, son.
I didn't go to talk to Aro. I was going on a bike ride. Like, what the?
Get off of me!
You going to talk to Aro? This is going to make you act like this?
I talked to her without telling me!
Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said, hi, you and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you an acting. Come here. Dude.
You're a
Yes, thank you. Coming from you. Thank you.
I want you to get away from me!
In them, Courtney can be heard using racial slurs, berating Christian, and issuing threats. In another, she tells him to leave her apartment before things get physical.
I care about my head right now.
Nope, the cops are gonna take me to jail.
Then
That's cool. I don't care, Christian.
I'm not
I don't care about you.
Just stop it.
I'm whack, right?
I'm just mad and I don't say that. Just
No.
stop it.
Okay, cool.
Hey.
Christian, I honestly, I know that, your head is serious. I told you to leave downstairs. I told you I'm actually not having a good day where I actually literally want to, but you don't take me seriously.
Okay.
Prosecutors argued these were not isolated outbursts, but a consistent pattern of verbal and emotional abuse that eventually turned fatal. Now behind bars, Courtney awaited trial. And for the first time since the stabbing, the world saw her without filters, without fans, and without control of the narrative. The influencer era of her life was over. What came next would be decided not by followers, but by a jury.
This is a self-defense case, and the facts that come out of trial will support that.
Courtney is a white woman. Christian Obumseli was a black man. And for months, she walked free while Christian's family begged for justice. Activists, journalists, and followers on social media all asked the same question. If the roles were reversed, if Christian had stabbed Courtney, would he have been allowed to fly to Hawaii and check into a wellness retreat instead of a jail cell? The hashtag Justice for Christian began trending. Protesters gathered outside her condo and at City Hall, demanding answers. News outlets began analyzing the coverage itself. Early headlines described Courtney as an OnlyFans model or Instagram star, not a suspect. Some stories even led with her beauty, her income, her bikini photos, while Christian, the victim, was referred to vaguely as a boyfriend or tech entrepreneur, with little background or humanity offered. For Christian's family, the media narrative was devastating. They said he had been painted as disposable, while Courtney was portrayed as a tragic figure. His brother called it character assassination in real time. They described Christian as kind, loyal, and deeply in love, someone who stayed in a bad relationship because he believed he could fix it. The voice notes, the texts, the elevator footage, it all pointed in the same direction. First, the forensic analysis shattered her claim of self-defense. Courtney told police she threw the knife from across the room to stop Christian from attacking her. But the autopsy revealed that the knife had entered Christian's chest in a downward trajectory, deeply enough to puncture his subclavian artery.
Dr. Hutchins, if you could explain, was this a stab wound or an incision?
A stab wound.
The medical examiner report shows that she's lying, tells us that she believed, at least objectively, that what she actually did by plunging that knife into his chest was not justifiable.
That kind of injury, medical experts testified, requires significant force and proximity. It simply couldn't have happened from a distance. The wound told a story, and it wasn't the one Courtney gave. Then came the digital trail. Prosecutors combed through Courtney's phone, extracting texts, photos, and voice notes that painted a picture of a deeply volatile relationship, one in which she was often the aggressor. Friends of the couple also came forward, claiming they had seen Courtney slap, hit, or berate Christian in public on more than one occasion. One witness said they were shocked by how calmly Christian handled it, that he always seemed to walk away instead of fight back. Meanwhile, Courtney's defense team insisted she was the real victim. They argued Christian had been emotionally manipulative and physically aggressive behind the scenes. They said she feared for her life that night and acted in self-defense. They pointed to her mental health struggles, her therapy records, and her emotional state after the stabbing. But the prosecutors didn't back down. Courtney Clenney's story isn't just about one violent night in a Miami condo. It's about everything that led up to it and what it exposed about the world we live in. On the surface, it looked like a tragic end to a toxic relationship, but beneath that surface was a web of privilege, power, perception, and pain. A white influencer with wealth and fame, a black man trying to make a relationship work, a media narrative that flipped between sympathy and suspicion depending on who you asked, and a legal system forced to decide whether Courtney Clenney was defending herself or hiding behind the image she'd built online. This case forced people to confront uncomfortable truths about gender and violence. It challenged the idea that women can't be aggressors or that men can't be victims. Christian Obumseli's family continues to fight for justice. They say he was a kind, gentle man who lost his life because of someone else's rage. Courtney's team maintains that she acted out of fear and that the full story still hasn't been told. But even if the legal system delivers a verdict, the cultural conversation is far from over. So, what happens now? Courtney Clenney awaits trial. Her defense is set, the prosecution is ready, and the world is still watching. But the bigger question may not be whether she's guilty or innocent. It's what this case reveals about us, about the stories we believe, the voices we amplify, and the justice we demand only when the cameras are rolling.